Fair use disclaimer. This video contains copyrighted material, the use of which has not always been specifically authorized by the copyright owner. I am making this content available for educational, entertainment, encouragement, and promotional uses only for the artist as well as the listener. Under the Fair Right Use Doctrine, Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act. Enjoy the sound check. Let's see if the flow is proven. DjRon, the classic DJ from the Bay. Enjoy. Yeah, hey, what's up, everybody? It is I, says me, DjRon, the classic DJ from the Bay, that is the Bay Area, California, and I welcome you to Soundcheck, where I check the beats, then see if the flow is proven. All right, got to give a big shout out to my 3 recent subscribers, the most recent subscribers. Shout out to Rob Loke, and then shout out to, I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's Deuce Beats or if it's Does Beats, which makes a little more sense, you know what I mean? Shout out to Does Beats, and then to Kurt Russell. And then much love to my supportive subscribers. And this one, the feature of this week is Fast Lane Finesse Game for dropping comments and showing support. So understand, to like, to comment, and subscribe is huge for us up and coming YouTube channels, you know what I mean? It does a lot for the algorithm and it helps to get the message out there, you know what I mean? So here we go, y'all. Full disclosure before we get started. Normally I like to run the music live with y'all, but since the channel's monetized now, shout out to the Lord. You know that the copyright system can be tricky. And even though we're doing a good thing over here, we're promoting the music and whatnot and really giving a sound check and letting it be known how we feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And even giving y'all opportunities to win, because you can definitely do so by commenting. It's still iffy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So today I'm breaking down a full album based on my notes and rankings. And trust me, the album, the breakdown is still going to be fire. You know what I'm saying? So now let's get into it. Today I'm breaking down Jeezy, Still Snowin'. And yes, Jeezy is still going, which I think is a play on the word. Why he says still snowing as a still going. And if you didn't hear the last mixtape that he made with DJ Drama, man, that was fire. You know what I mean? I ain't going to hold you. Still move, still having motion. My 2 favorite songs from that album. Now, this particular one, I don't know if they have a song on that level. Maybe it has to grow on me, but it's what I've been listening to since it came out Friday. You know what I mean? I've been listening to it, and shout out to DJ Campaign. I'll tell you what his favorite song was too. But honestly, Jeezy's still snowing. Like really, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to get to the first track, and it starts out as called Still Snowing, right? The album, the title track of the album. You know what I mean? He's always been nice with the mic, but that doing it in the park beat by the Blackbirds, old school beat, if you know, you know, it makes it hard to miss on an opening track. It makes it feel like it's a mixtape as far as DJ Drama and his drops and everything. And it's cool in these days, you know, to have 2 or 3 minute songs. You understand what I'm saying? So it should win us some streams. You know, that's been the thing. I guess a lot of listeners don't have the ADHD nowadays. Or the flip side of it is, you like the song so much that you play it over and over again, so get streams. And I believe this is one that you're going to be listening to over and over again. Matter of fact, that's the song the Campaign mentioned that he liked. You know what I mean? So Jeezy's coming in hot, even though he's still snowing with it, all right? Next song, Slide for Show. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a mistake when they put the title on there, because he said who wants to slide for snow on the hook or whatnot. But, man, the song is fire, though. Oh, Still Snowing. I gave it beat an 8.5, and I gave it 8.5 on the lyrics, all right? Back to Slide for Snow. Because that's what I'm going to call it, because that's what he's saying. A 9.5 on the beat, you know what I mean? Anybody that know to be able to use that slide beat, you know what I'm saying, and have the lyrics sliding over that slide beat the way he did, it gives it that grown man feel, you know what I mean? And actually the lyrics, I was going to say a 9.0, but I'm going to give it a 9.5. Like this part right here.
What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Don't mind me, I'm about to slide to the bank. Know you wanna come up in here, but you can't. I'm a memories, I just can't get a drink. Unbelievable, summertime in the make. Contest 18, that's a mother paint. And I ain't about to sit right here, let your mother tell me what it is when I know that it ain't.
Man, I tell you, Jeezy slid with it, and he still got it snowing, you know what I'm saying? Still cool on that microphone, all right? Next song, though, the next song, Treason. First of all, let me just let y'all know, the beat of 10.0 off the rip, you know what I mean? You can't miss with that hanging on the strings beat, you know what I mean? And the thing about it, he doesn't leave us hanging, letting us know how he feels about fakeness. right, with that particular song. So 9.5 on the lyrics, a 10.0 on the beat because, you know, it's hanging on the string, it's loose ends. What can you say? You understand what I'm saying? So the next song, Snowman, the beat actually kind of grew on me a little bit. So I'm giving it a 6.0. And again, on the microphone, it's not often that Jeezy say something he ain't saying something. So I gave him an 8.0. But the beat was too far back. It had that far back feel like something you'd hear on a soundtrack of a Scarface movie, or maybe in a Miami Copacabana party or something like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't my favorite song, but, you know, it's still cool. I don't necessarily skip it, but, you know, I don't click on that song too when I go to the album, all right? Which takes me to the next song. Inside My Soul. Instant, 10.0. It's a 10.0. The microphone, who cares what we give him on the lyrics? It's Jamaica funk. You know what I mean? And he hovered over that beat like he was the stench of the funk. You understand what I'm saying? Like he belonged there. You know what I mean? His best song so far on the album. What can you say when he's saying stuff like this?
Lord have mercy, I need a barber. Everything in my driveway, you know I got the title. Like Larry O back in the 80s, I'm going to death row before I let a play me. Pyrex 3D with that slow-mo. Duct tape, black tape, Snowman logo. Another on the blog, talking crazy. Oh no, living life over here, we just treat it like promo. 16 had the chrome deuce. Big pockets on Bruce. Eating rhymes, what you know about the cup suits. Dodging them boys, black cars, and the blue suits. Lord.
I mean, Jeezy's he's just doing his thing. Next song is called My Friends. It's got I believe that's a Mary Jane Girls beat or whatnot. Beat, I gave it an 8.0. You know what I mean? 8.5 on the lyrics. But the bottom line, Jeezy's back on the scene and he's single and he's ready to mingle. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of the song. And then it takes you to the next song. It's called Another Sad Song. And I gave the beat an 8.5. He used that Toni Braxton, same song title, another sad love song is what she called it, but he called it Another Sad Song. And honestly, I gave him a 9.0 on it. You know what I mean? At first, it seemed to explain why he's made his decision to be single, among other world problems or whatnot, with Toni Braxton helping him get his message across. But when you listen to it, you just see it's just one of them songs where, you know, you have compassion on the people. When you see what's going on, you like almost feel sorry for everybody. You know what I'm saying? For these particular situations. Listen, take a listen for yourself, though. I think you'll like it. We go on to the next song. It's called Bruce Wayne. The beat actually threw me off. I gave him a 7.0 on it. You know what I mean? It was cool. 8.0 lyrics. Because again, he said something. It's a good song, but it didn't really seem to fit, which takes me to the next song. The Whole Town. Now, I thought it would be about relationships because I know the song, The Whole Town's Laughing at Me by Harold Melvin and Blue Notes and Teddy Pendergrass, I'm singing on there and everything. But it seems like a missed opportunity to make his own song cry, so to speak. You know what I mean? Even with Teddy Pendergrass, or especially with Teddy Pendergrass singing along with it. You know what I'm saying? It's still cool. As a matter of fact, I believe it's the one where drama even references make the song cry, like that's what it's supposed to be. Kind of misses the mark, but I still gave him an 8.0 on the lyrics, and once again, 8.5 with a beat. Next song, Don't Play About Me. He said, I got some folks that don't play about me. His flow, my folks in the Yay, y'all know, he reminds me a lot of Larry June. You know what I mean? His flow is something like Larry. Well, let me put it like this. The beat is something that Larry June would slide to. You get what I'm saying? And his flow, more like Jay-Z, aspirational kind of flow. You know what I'm saying? 8.5 on the beat, 9.0 on the lyrics. Not a bad song, but then this next song is another one that blew it out the park. Instant 10.0. The mic was nice. Whatever he said, I don't even remember. But when you use that Sounds of Blackness, that optimistic, when you hear the song, you're going to know if you know the original song. You almost can't miss on that. And to be able to rap over that same beat with all the drums and the pianos and everything going on with that. And then he brought the same message too. So it's a song that, as me personally, if I'm doing a Christian function or a community function, something like that, and I got the clean version of the song, I'm mixing it in with optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Making it seem like Jeezy was featured on the song or they was featured on Jeezy's song, however you want to look at it. And honestly, I think it'll sound good like that. You know, the other DJs out there, don't be trying to bite my apple now. Don't be trying to bite it now. You know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, that I think that'll work well in that right there. Sounds of Blackness beat had it up from the gate though. 10.0 on that one. Next song's called Anything. 8.5 on the beat, and then the microphone 9.5 because it's that grown man stuff once again, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, that rich grown man stuff, you know, when he says something like, I used to hide it in the bag. I used to talk about the money. I used to hide it in the bag. Now it's in the escrow. It's one of them, if you know kind of things, you know what I mean? If you're living like that, then that's how you live it. You know what I'm saying? So again, 8.5 on the beat, 9.5 on the flow. Honestly, this album is something that you want to listen to. Everybody ought to take a listen to it, all right? Move on to the next song, Hustle's Paradise. 9.0 on the beat, 9.5 on the flow. I love the concept of Walk Through Heaven, and he's seeing the rap greats and the legends, and he's rapping over Don't Disturb This Groove. Honestly, I didn't want the song to end. You know what I mean? It's just it's a dope song. You know what I'm saying? So definitely something to reflect to, highway music, something to ride on the highway, listen to, reminisce about your dead homies, all that kind of stuff and everything. You'll love it. All right? And then we get to the next song. It's called Keep That Same Energy. And unfortunately, it failed to live up to the title. You know, 6.0 on the beat, 8.0 on the flow, which ain't bad, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, a real dip in the energy of the album. But then, you know, Thug Life Again, it comes on next, and kind of stayed a little low on the beat, 6.5 on the beat. But then I got a 9.0 on the microphone, you know what I'm saying? When he say stuff like, I've been dunking feds and haters for 20 years, and y'all got the nerve to call it luck. Now, you have to listen to it to see how you put that together, but the message is still there, you know what I mean? He goes on to say that God got it. Can't help but to love that. 9.0 on the flow. And then the next song is called Back for More. Another one of them songs with some more Jay-Z flavor to it. You know, I believe he was mentored by Jay-Z or whatnot. Bottom line is, dope song. They gave it an 8.0 on the beat, 9.5 on the lyrics because he's definitely saying something. He's definitely saying something. Now, for the outro, though. For the outro, another Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes song, right? It's called If You Don't Know Me. Y'all know the song. If you don't know me by now, you'll never know. Maybe because I never really cared too much for the song when I was a child, although I understand it a whole lot better now that I'm grown. Still, it was a 6.5 on the flow, and I gave him an 8.0 on the microphone, maybe an 8.5 for the microphone, but it just seemed like something was missing, you know what I mean? I like how he used that mumble flow that a lot of youngsters can like, but he mumbled in the way, he just used but he said something that we can understand. So that's why I had to bump him up to an 8.5 on the lyrics. Initially it was an 8.0 though, you know what I'm saying? So look, that's it. That's Jeezy. That's still Snowin. And here's a time now where I say, hey, if you got some new album out there that I need to hear, that you want to hear what I got, how I feel about it and whatnot, definitely tap in with me. You know what I mean? Email me at DjRon7573@yahoo.com or just drop it in the comments on here. You know what I mean? Talk to me and I'll talk back. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, you know, I got to give a shout out to the family. Y'all names on the screen again right here. Y'all keep the sound check moving. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to see your name up here, make sure you hit subscribe and drop a comment. And I'll see you and I'll shout you out. The sound check is complete. We respect the classics, you know what I mean? That's why you got to check out Flow and Prove. Matter of fact, the most recent one, 10 songs by Tupac that everyone needs to hear. No matter where you from, your age, your genre of music you like, whatever. 10 songs that everybody needs to hear to understand what Tupac was all about. Make sure you check that out. Flow and Prove, episode 51. Part 1 and part 2. So make sure you check that out. But we also check it for the new ones. You know what I mean? And Jeezy right here, I believe it's a new classic album, honestly. I believe it's a new classic album. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Go check it out for yourself. Come back to me. Let me know. You know what I mean? Like I said, you talk to me, I'll talk back. But this has been Soundcheck, where the music speaks and we listen. Take care, and as always, God bless.
I represent the Yay area.